Here is a plan. Get me in and get ready to defend. I'm in, Tenno. This will take a moment.
In the past, I have been building my Oberon for pure survivability, always considering his renewal ability. It's a pretty good build and in fact, I can out-heal enemies with it, but the problem is, the renewal build is not viable at all times, as it's reliant on Rage or Hunter Adrenaline to support its high energy consumption. Another thing that I don't like about the pure renewal build is you can't really utilize Oberon's other abilities. If you main Oberon, then probably you know by now that he is a jack of all trades, which can support the team, can crowd control, can debuff enemies and as well as buff the whole squad. Which is why I decided to tune my build that way and stop using the renewal only build. I decided to make an all-rounder build for Oberon which you can take in almost every missions available in the game, and the best part is, it's pretty viable in endgame plays like my favorite endurance runs. So, lend me a couple of minutes, as I want to share to you my Guardian of the Forest Oberon build. Like always, let me show you my build first. In case you want to see my renewal build for Oberon, here it is. As you can see, it's a power strength build so that we can have as much heal rate for our renewal ability. The downside is, this build doesn't have that much duration and as well as the efficiency to cast his other abilities as much as possible. Not to mention that it has little to no range, and it can't crowd control that much. It's purely focus on the survivability aspect, and yes, it may be effective, but it will also get boring really quick. So this is the build I'm using right now. It's a pretty balanced build so I can cast all my abilities whenever I want. Now, you can tweak this build if you want. I know some of you don't rely that much on primed flow as you sometimes deactivate and activate your renewal, and I guess that you can live with the base energy of Oberon, so you can remove this mod and replace any mod that you feel will benefit you the most. Say, you can add more duration with Constitution, or range with Augur Reach, or even intensify so you can have some extra heal rate for your renewal and as well as damage to your other abilities. The choice is yours and you can tune this build to your own liking. Just refer to this mod setup as a guide. Lastly, the aura slot is personal preference. I always love and prefer corrosive projection as it's more like an all-rounder mod, and also, I often use enemy radar in solo runs, and as well as team composition sometimes when it's needed. I think this is a pretty underrated mod, as most people like extra power strength or damage output, but the ability of this mod to give you awareness is incomparable. It's always a plus for me to see where enemies are coming so I can have some type of escape plan. Not to mention that this mod does help in enemy pathing, so it's a must-have for me but not really a necessity for you guys. You can always choose your preferred aura slot in the end. So now, let me give you a little gameplay preview on this build. So that's how good this build is. Its efficiency to cast all of Oberon's abilities is second to none. This build perfectly suits the characteristic of Oberon, which is a jack of all trades. Not to mention that this build is pretty versatile, as it can be used in almost every mission in the game. However, there are a few things that you should consider while using this build. One is not to rely too much on your renewal ability in terms of survivability. It can heal you, but you need to move and not stay on one spot. Always remind yourself that you can't out-heal the enemies. Yes, I have the Phoenix Renewal Augment on my mod setup, but remember that it has a really long cooldown. It's just your safety net and not the main source of your survivability. The strongest point of this build is its ability to crowd control enemies with your hallowed ground and as well as your reckoning ability. Not to mention that you can also use smite for knockdowns and damage. Also, with that amount of range that this build have, you can lift a bunch of enemies and not just those close to you. In addition, the damage reduction when you cast your hallowed ground followed by reckoning is really helpful. Just remember that it might take at least 2 casts of reckoning to completely strip enemy armors. That's really not a problem for this build, as you did see how efficient this build was. That's how amazing this build is, and I definitely suggest that you try it for yourself. It's basically an all-rounder build for Oberon, and so far, I can say that this is the best build I have for this awesome Warframe right now. Before I end this video, I would just like to say a big thanks to the Grind team for your continuous support on our channel. We are growing really fast and I can't keep track of every loyal members of this squad. Also, I did realize that it would really be fun to chat with you guys and share some stuff, which is why I finally decided to get our community its very own Discord server. The Grind team is now on Discord, and if you have the time, you can check out our official server. I will just leave the link to our Discord on the video description below. See you there. So that's it. Hope that you find this video informative. Before leaving, please do give this video a like if you enjoy watching it, and for first timers, you can always join the Grind team by simply subscribing to this channel. Just remember to turn on that notification bell to receive the newest Warframe videos from this channel. Thank you so much for watching. Squad leader signing off.